Okay, it looks like we have enough people to get started. So welcome to our new webinar series called Conduit Connect. Over the course of 9 weeks, we're going to be going over different features of Conduit to ultimately level up your automation. I'm Emily, I'm an Asian product manager at Conduit, and I'll be here to walk you through this entire series. So to start, let me just open the chat. To start, we're gonna go into school actually, just so that I can highlight our school community. And if you haven't joined it, highly recommend that you join our school community. So let me just share my screen. Okay, but to start, I just put our school community link in the chat. If you haven't joined our school community, highly recommend that you join and put in your questions / anything that you have related to workflows. All of our webinars are also uploaded to school. So after this webinar, you can go watch the recording by just going into community, past webinars, and then all of our webinars will be here. They're also on our YouTube channel, but it's just really important / really helpful if you are interested in being a conduit builder or wanting to level up your automation. This is the best place to get started, and being able to learn from other builders and being able to have your questions answered by either our team or other people who are conduit users. But with that, I'm going to move over to workflows, and the topic of this conversation or this webinar is going to be all the different workflow actions / triggers. So right now I'm just in my platform. I'm going to click workflows, all workflows. And to start, I'm going to just click create. Here I'm in my workflow, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can actually make a workflow. I'm going to be saying workflow a lot during this webinar, so bear with me. But the first way to start is just writing out exactly what you want. Not all of us are experts in coding. Workflows have a really high curve unless you watch our webinars. So one thing that you can do is just type out exactly what you want. So this is just one of the defaults that we have, but one day after the check-in, I want to check how the guest is doing. If they're happy, send them a farewell and hope they enjoy their stay. If they aren't happy, send us an email with their information. All I have to do is click this arrow, and the AI will build out a workflow based on the specifications that I want. So right now it's just going to load and actually build out this workflow. So I don't have to build anything. All I have to do is just wait for this AI to make the workflow for me, and then I can go in and actually make edits. Okay. In the meantime, I'll answer some questions. As always, feel free to answer questions in the chat. But what is a conduit builder? A conduit builder is just someone who is a avid user of Conduit, so using workflows, using like the automated features / using the AI. But anyone can be a conduit builder. All you have to do is just start building workflows and interacting with the platform. Okay. Now that my workflow has ran, what I can do is actually just see what the AI has built. So one day after check-in, we're going to do an agent injection. We have different branches, sending email messages, sending SMS messages, and email messages. So if there are any errors, you can always click fix errors. Or let's say you're not happy with this workflow that the AI built and you want to actually make customizations and fix it, you can click reset. So if you are new to building workflows in Conduit or it's your first workflow, this is just one way that you can get started. Just let the AI build the workflow for you, and then you can go in and make the customizations. We'll actually just go on to the next way to make a workflow. The next is importing from a link. So if you're in our school community, people can share workflows that they built, or you can even like share the workflows that you've built. All you have to do is, let's say you're in a workflow, for instance, this one. If you click share, there will be a pop-up right here that says workflow share link copied. And then what you will be able to do is, let's say you post this link in school, or you post this link like in our YouTube comments. Other people can click create, import from link, and then actually import these workflows that you built. So if you're a Conduit builder or you have built a workflow that you're really proud of, feel free to share it within the school community so that other people can use your workflow, or they can make edits in their own space. Okay, the final way, and the one that we're going to talk about the most, is starting from scratch. So for the rest of the webinar, we're going to go into all the different triggers and actions to ultimately build this after hours same day booking call alert. What this workflow is going to do is when a new reservation comes up, we're going to use agent injection phone. I'll explain more about agent injection phone, and then send a message to the actual guest or to the actual team, notifying you that there was an after hours reservation that came in, and that you should either like check the system for details or reach out to the guest if it's needed. But to start, I'm going to start from scratch. And let's just go over some of the triggers. So the first is when a new reservation is created. When a new reservation is created, you can select which inbox type that you want. We usually recommend selecting the guest inbox type because guests are the ones who are creating reservations. This is the most straightforward of all the triggers. The same can be for when a guest checks in. You can select the inbox type and when the workflow will actually start. So this is all customizable. It can be 3 days, 2 days, 1 day before a guest checks in. You can even do 1 day after a guest checks in. Let's say you want to make a workflow where you like send a message 1 day after the guest checks in asking, how was your experience with the check-in process? How you'll do this is you'll do 1 day after the check-in, or you can even do like 3 days after the check-in. This run all reservations, what this means is if a reservation was created 1 day before the check-in, so if this workflow was 1 day before check-in, or actually 3 days before check-in, if this workflow was started, it's supposed to start 3 days before a check-in, but you have a guest who made the reservation like 1 day before the check-in, they'll still receive this workflow. So you can leave this on if you want all users to receive this message, or if you leave it off, then people who made a reservation less than 3 days before the check-in won't have this workflow triggered. The same can be for checkout. The only difference between the check-in and the checkout is just this button right here, but it works the same. Start that again. We also have run reservation status changes. So again, all of these will be for the guest inbox type, but if you have a guest who is in an inquiry and they move to confirmed, you can use this as a trigger, for instance, if you want to, when a reservation goes from inquiry to confirmed, to send them a message saying, thank you for confirming your reservation. Here is your check-in details. So these can all be played around with. You can have a inquiry stay approved or modified if someone modifies, or even if someone cancels their reservation. If someone cancels the reservation, you can also just send a message saying, hey, we noticed that you canceled your reservation. Feel free to let us know why you canceled, or if this was a mistake, reach out and we can rebook you. So these are our reservation events triggered. Next, we'll move on to our contact events. So when a new contact is created, this is anytime a contact is created. So this could be when your PMS system or whatever CRM is creating the contact in the guest inbox type, or even if someone manually creates a contact. So contacts can be created right here. But whenever a new contact is created, this is also a different trigger. It can also be when a contact attribute is updated. So we have different custom tags that you can add within Conduit. How you can add a custom tag is just going to settings, the actual inbox, custom field, and then just create attribute. Just as an example, I have this attribute called VIP guest. What this is triggered by is when a guest is spending over $1,000, I have a workflow that actually checks this box, noting that, hey, this person spent more than $1,000, make sure to take extra good care of them. And this builds on the actual workflow here, because if, let's say that VIP tag is added. So if I go, if this VIP guest is true, which means this VIP, this like is a guest who is a VIP, maybe I can give them a specific workflow that asks them, let me know if you need anything. Thank you so much for staying with us, and just making sure that this guest is extra taken care of. The same can be for when conversation tags are added. So again, guest inbox, we automatically provide a bunch of conversation tags. As you can see, mine are all grayed out. Conversation tags, if they're red, they will still trigger a workflow, but a guest won't receive a response. But conversation tags are a great place to start, especially if you're building out new workflows. So let's say you want, when a guest is unhappy, to send a message to your team. So either like send a Slack message or send a message, or when a guest is unhappy, send a message directly to like the guest saying, hey, we know that you're unhappy. Our team will be there to assist you shortly. For conversation tags, just to add, you can only select one conversation tag to be triggered by each workflow. So let's say you want to have a workflow for emergencies and one for broken appliances, but different workflows. All you would have to do is just make a duplicate, and making a duplicate within Conduit is pretty easy. You would just click these three dots and then duplicate. The next one is, okay, call completed. So call completed and call missed is blocked by, you need to have your phone set up. To set up your phone, you'll just go to settings, phone, and then your phone number will be here. Once you have those, then you'll be able to start using these different features within workflows. So let's say you have a phone number that's already connected to Conduit, like what I have right now. When that call is completed, that can also be a trigger. So again, for the guest inbox type, or it can also be unmapped. How the phone works, this is only for phone, not chat agents. We use a contact-based inbox system. So if a phone number is associated to like the reservation, then there'll be a guest. But let's say you have someone who is just calling to have an inquiry, they would be unmapped because they're not really a guest yet. They're still an unmapped contact. But after this call is completed, if the call is completed and they actually make a reservation over the phone, we can go in and change their reservation or change their inbox type from unmapped to the guest inbox. So this allows for people to make reservations within Conduit and actually move them from the unmapped slash like just general inquiry inbox to the actual guest inbox. And then, oh, just to touch on this, calls can be in any direction. So if you want it to be any call, if you want this to be triggered for any call, you can just click any, or incoming, so calls that are coming from the, like from a guest to you, or outgoing, where you're calling someone outbound. And then this can be for only human like phones. So if it's an actual person, or if you have voice AI, then this can also be triggered using AI. But right now I like having it at any. And then finally, call missed is the same as call completed, but it's just only for specifically if a call is missed. So if someone calls during off hours and they are trying to make a reservation, you can make a workflow that will send a message saying, hey, you called us while we were offline. Feel free to call us in the morning, or you can just get a summary of the call in the call transcript and then like send a summary to you when people are online. Okay, going to look at the questions now. What can I add to workflow so that the AI offers upsells only if the guest mood is okay or good? I don't want it to offer upsells to a guest that faced issues. What you'll need to do is, I already have this for somebody, but another thing to highlight is just our templates. So templates are workflows that we've built out for other people. I thought, hey, this is a really good workflow. Might as well let everyone have access to this. So pre-stake app night upsell is like a good way to start. All you have to do is like add a branch, or You can do like add a branch, and then if that conversation has like a guest is unhappy conversation tag, then follow the normal path, or don't follow the normal path. Only follow the path if they like were helped or like don't have that conversation tag. Is there a guest verification workflow template? Yes, there is a workflow. Yes, there is. If you go here to guest screening, that will verify the guests. You'll just have to make customizations depending on how you want it to work. So for this one, it will ask for your full name and ID, ask the team if it approves the guest. If the team does approve, they'll send a message saying, hey, you were approved. If it doesn't, we have another webinar that goes over this workflow as well. If I create a new conversation tag, will the AI know to automatically assign that tag to the conversation? For conversation tags, you will go to agents. Yeah, you'll go to agents, chat agent, and the tag is right here. The AI will automatically populate this, but if you want it to be super specific, then you would just have to add it. So like emergency. If you do make a conversation tag, make sure that it's flagged as non-urgent. If it has this urgent tag, then the AI is not going to respond. Okay, what are the unique workflows that can only be done if I use SuiteOp/Conduit? Where can I see this unique library of workflows? For SuiteOp, right now, these are all of our templates that are available. For SuiteOp specifically, we had a webinar if you went to the webinar, but we don't have SuiteOp workflows in these templates right now. Okay, moving on to the rest of the actual triggers. So let's actually just see this in action. So let's say I have a guest who they make a new reservation when we're offline. So I want to use this new reservation is created and make it apply for the guest inbox. I want it to be for the guest inbox specifically because they're guests, like guests are the ones that are doing check-in in, like my hotel staff isn't doing the check-in here. So I'll click save. And then now I want to use my tool called Agent Injection Phone. So Agent Injection, these are our AI actions. For this one, I can either do Agent Injection or Agent Injection Phone. To go over like the differences, Agent Injection, you'll go and actually like write out instructions and it will like respond like via text, via email, like so via chat. Whereas phone is actually going to make a phone call. So for this case, I want to use, let's just use like agent injection. And then here I'm going to provide a task when a new reservation is made between, we'll do like 9 p.m. PST to 5 a.m. PST. Send an email to the team to let them know. Here, these are the instructions. The AI isn't going to exactly send these like instructions. These are more of like guidelines for how it should like generate a response. For extracted information, this is information that you want like your AI to extract. An example is if the guest has a dog, you can say, does the or guest has dog? Does the guest have a dog? This isn't really necessary, but if you want to extract/send information to like the person who is receiving this message, you can just add it here. For follow-ups for agent injection mean how many times should your agent like follow up or accomplish this goal if the goal isn't accomplished. So right now, my goal is to just send an email to let the team know. But what if my goal was ask the team what their favorite ice cream flavor is? your goal is to ask the team what their favorite ice cream flavor is. What this means here is if the AI sends an email, it's going to always check, did the team provide what their favorite ice cream flavor is? If it doesn't, then we would just have a follow-up. So we'll keep on following up until that like information is like accomplished. And we have this end after where ultimately, if we aren't able to get the ice cream flavor, or if the AI isn't able to accomplish their goal, then the AI should just turn off and no longer run. If you want to send the first message to the guest or to like the team in this example, you can enable send the first message. And then for AI generate, we just leave this on. This will let the AI generate the first message so that each message is different and it's not like a templated response. You can select the channel. If you select last message channel, then it will just inject the AI into whatever existing conversation it was already in. So you can say like, hi, someone has checked in, or someone has made a reservation, actually. This will send exactly, hi, someone has made a reservation. If you want to add variables, you can add the variables here. So one variable I can add is like maybe I want to send the contact's first name. I want to send their reservation ID. This is also important because if this new reservation comes in and we're asking the team to either make edits or like make changes, we want to make sure that this reservation ID is provided. But in the initial message, this is what is going to be sent. It's going to send the contact first name and their reservation ID exactly. It's also important if you're using last message channel to have a fallback channel. What a fallback channel means is, what if this is the first message you're sending and there is no previous message channel? This will tell the AI, okay, there's no existing or previous conversation. Your first message is going to be by email. So it can either be email or SMS. We usually recommend email because if people are making a reservation, they usually have to provide their email, and most people do have email. And then here, you'll be able to send the first initial message, send the actual provider, the sender name, and the subject of the email. But this is how agent injection works. You can click save. Right now, I don't have a subject, but when the agent injection is made, if it does accomplish this goal, which in our case, the goal was ask the team what their favorite ice cream flavor is, it'll follow the success path. If it isn't able to accomplish this goal, it'll follow this failed path. Okay. Is there a way where we can make reservations, or is there a way we can make restrictions for AI agent not to send a follow-up message outside of the workflow? Example, AI agent still sends a follow-up message about the upsell when we don't set any follow-ups inside the workflow. Yes, if you don't want your AI to send a follow-up message, just make a guardrail under agent. So just go to Agent Hub, Agent Chat Agent, Guest Agent Guardrail. Just make a guardrail saying, if a guest doesn't like accept the upsell, just like end it. Can AI extract information that is inside the knowledge base and create a variable? I don't know what you're asking. If you're asking, can AI extract information? Okay, if you're asking, can the AI extract information, put information into the knowledge base? That would have to be a workflow again. Actually, no, it wouldn't be able to add information to the knowledge base. What you can do is add that information as a custom tag. And that would be just like, that would just be, I might have one already. But yeah, what that would be is if you do like the AI extract info, you can do like, when call is completed, guest any, AI extract info, you need to make sure like that field is added here. So like if you wanted to have like name of the field, just populate this and then it would be added as a variable. And then what you can do is actually add that information to the contact. So you do create or update contact. Actually, you would do update custom fields, and then you would just add it as a custom field. So no, you aren't able to use extract AI info to add information to the knowledge base, but you can add it to a specific contact. Okay. Can AI read the notes that has been put in the conversation in Conduit? No, it can't. Okay. So now we're going to go over agent injection phone, which is the last part of building out this workflow before we have to send the actual message. Let me just find the workflow. Or we'll actually just open up the one that we're supposed to go over. But this is agent injection phone. In this example, I used agent injection phone because I had the phone set up. But here are my agent tasks. This is my goal. My goal is to just contact the guest. I wanted to, or to contact the team member because there is a new reservation that came in. It's going to hang up after the information has been provided, and we're not going to make a call back. For the information that I extracted, so did the team member respond okay to the message? So what this agent injection phone is, it's going to provide some information and the team has to say yes or okay, or affirm that they received this message. If it did, we're going to capture that as a string and we're not going to reattempt because this is calling my team. My team is already online. They don't need to have multiple attempts. You're going to provide your AI phone number. And for this case, I wanted to use static, which is AI. I wanted to use AI speak first static. What this means, dynamic means it's going to use AI to customize and say a different response depending on however the team member responds. But here I just want it to be static, and it'll say, "Hi, this is an automated after hours notification. We received a new same day booking and we need your attention. Please check the system for details and reach out if the guest is needed." And we use the same principle of using variables where I have the name, the reservation full name, and the actual listing. You want to include the confirmation code. Then I would just do add a variable, then add a confirmation code here. Let's say this call was missed. Instead of reattempting, I'm actually just going to leave a voicemail because phones have voicemail, and it's the same message that we were going to say originally, which is just, "Hey, this is an automated message. Here's the full name. Here's the listing internal name." If I want to transfer the phone number, I wouldn't in this case, but you can just enter a phone number here, and you can transfer agent injection phones to an actual person. I wouldn't use it in this case, but say you're calling out to a guest and they're either frustrated or they don't want to talk to a robot or they don't want to talk to an AI. If they're frustrated, you can just transfer them to a live agent. For both paths, I'm going to be sending a message to the team because this is a notification or alert. And we're going to send a message, same thing. It's just, "Hey, this is an automated message. Can you check the system? Here's their information." Same message is sent here. And you can send this to specific contact within Conduit, and you can use last message channel, email, SMS, or WhatsApp. I don't have email or SMS set up here, but last message channel will just continue the conversation with your team to make sure that everything is in the same inbox and everything is in the same conversational flow. But this is the after hours same day booking call alert. To just recap what we went over during this webinar, we went over this work and how to actually build it. And then we went over the workflow trigger that Conduit offers, as well as how to make different workflows. So here we went through these different triggers. And if you want to create your own workflows, you can either just write out and dynamically create a workflow here, import from a link from school, or if you feel like you're pretty confident, you can start from scratch here. But I'm going to send the school link again. Highly recommend joining our school community because it's a great place to see like what other people are building. Okay. Most of the time, I'm going to answer some questions now. So most of the time, agent injection fails. What could be the issue? I tried adding fallback channel as well. How do you know what's causing the agent injection failure? Error logs are not helpful. If your agent injection is failing and the error code is like contact support, then just email support at conduit.ai and then our team can troubleshoot. Most of the time, it's just an internal server issue if it's not like last message channel. What I found is with agent injection, the most common errors are there is no like last conversation, there is no like fallback channel, or there is no like, they don't have like that platform. Like your guest doesn't have email, your guest doesn't have WhatsApp. But if the error message is like contact support, then just contact support, and then we can take a look at it. Where on school can we find published workflows? Published workflows aren't going to be on school. If you're looking for like templates, they would just be workflows templates, and then you can find them here. If you're looking for like published workflows like in school, people will just comment like their shared workflow. And then to just go over how you can share workflows, it is just clicking here, share. This link is copied, then you can paste it right here in school. If I create a new custom field in listing inside of Hostaway, can I bring that custom field in Conduit as a variable? No, you can't. If you have a custom field in Hostaway, it's not going to pull it into Conduit unless you make a webhook to pull it in. But the custom fields here, these were all created by a workflow. So if I have like the VIP gap night, I might, but it was a while ago. But yeah, that was just a workflow that I made where if a new reservation came in, just make it right now. Like when a new reservation is created, I like made a filter where if let's do like total price is greater than 1,000, then I just did update custom field, VIP guest, check that on. If you don't have this like custom field added, again, just go to settings, inbox, make that custom field, and then I'll show up in the workflow. But okay, well, that is it for our webinar. I look forward to seeing everyone next week and continuing the rest of our Conduit Connect webinar series. If you have any questions, feel free to email support@conduit.ai, or you can post in the school community, or you can also just email support or any of our team, and they'll be happy to help you out. But thank you everyone for attending.